Hello, Josh Levenhagen here. Welcome to your Monday home resource video. Real quick before we get started, how'd you guys like Children's Church yesterday? Did you do any of the crafts and activities? Did you like the Bible lesson? Did you do any of the worship videos? I'm going to post the worship videos to the Facebook group because I just think they're so amazing and so perfect for what we're going through right now, talking about being courageous and standing strong. So make sure to look for those worship videos and do them at home with your kids during the week. For the next 2 weeks, we're going to be changing up Children's Church a little bit. We're going to be switching from the Armor of God to be talking about Palm Sunday and doing Easter lessons. So make sure that you tune in to our Wednesday live at 5 because I'm going to be giving you guys a couple of things to check out on Amazon that you can order. They're simple, they're cheap. And when Easter rolls around and we release special Easter videos, you guys can do the same activities that we're doing with the same props because you'll have ordered them on Amazon. But you'll have to watch our Wednesday Live at 5 videos to get those ideas. So please tune in to Wednesday Live at 5. And thank you so much to my amazing fiance, Liz, for providing this graphic. She's very, very talented and I'm very appreciative of her help. All right, so resource number 1, PBS and PBS Kids. I was actually reading this article about talking to your kids about COVID-19, and I ran across a lot of other resources. If you go to this article, you're going to find coloring pages and printables, crafts and experiments, games and apps. If you click on the signing up for the daily newsletter, there's 3 separate PBS Kids apps that will help make all of the stuff that they offer more accessible and right at your fingertips. PBS Kids has a lot of stuff to do to help your kids stay engaged during this time and to keep them from getting bored. So please check out all the PBS Kids has to offer. Additionally, this week, which is Monday, March 30th through Friday, April 3rd, PBS is changing one of their channels to be exclusively home education resources. So this Monday to Friday, from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., you're going to find a whole bunch of programming that's arranged by subject and age group. So math and science and history shows for like ages preschool to 3rd grade, and then there's shows for ages 4th through 8th grade. And there's even shows for teens ages 9th through 12th grade, which may even be interesting to you as adults. So check out this guide that I'm going to be sending you guys for programming this week and make sure not to miss out on it. I'm sure if the viewership is high enough, PBS might consider doing it for more than just 1 week. So this is great for home schooling and home education resources, so check it out. All right, so second resource. When I first got this job, I realized I was going to be doing youth ministry for the first time in 6 years. And I knew that I was going to have to take myself back to school, so to speak, to be able to understand what is relevant to teen culture nowadays. And the best, by far, resource that I have found is something called Axis. Axis is a Christian group that is focused on resourcing parents of preteens and teens to help them stay relevant and stay engaged in what their teens and preteens think is important right now. They've got 2 tools that I use every single week, and I'm going to share them with you. The first is the Culture Translator. The Culture Translator is a weekly email that they send out that focuses on just a couple of things that are happening in pop culture that your teens find relevant, find interesting, find impactful to their lives. Things like what's going on in the lives of certain celebrities, things that are happening in the news that are specifically affecting teens, apps, social media, music and video game releases. All this stuff they've packed into a weekly email so that you as parents can stay up to date on what your teens and preteens are finding important right now. For those of you who even have older elementary students, this stuff is incredibly relevant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to forward you this email so that you can take a look at what a typical Culture Translator email looks like, and then you can choose whether or not you'd like to subscribe and get this information sent you directly. Now, in addition to the Culture Translator, what I love that Axis does is that it chooses to pinpoint some of these subjects and kind of create crash courses on them. They create parents' guides. They have dozens of parents' guides, and I was actually going to start putting them in the Faith at Home Center, but now that we're going through this and we're not able to be together in person, I'm going to start sending you guys parent guides over the email. Now, the parent guide we're going to go ahead and start with is the Parent's Guide to Fortnite. For those of you who don't know what Fortnite is possibly the most popular online multiplayer video game that exists right now. It is an online, multiplayer, battle royale style game. For those of you guys who don't know what Battle Royale is, ever since the Hunger Games books came out, which were about a bunch of teenagers being placed in an environment and they had to basically fight to the death, Battle Royale games have gotten huge. Battle Royale comes from a title of a 1980s movie of the same title where, again, young adults and teens were forced to battle each other. This game is different, though, than most of games of that type, because most of the games of that type are extremely violent, or at least moderately violent, so they're restricted to a certain age group. Most of the time, parents will catch that game and just go, no, that's a little too violent for you. But Fortnite decided to take that concept of a game and they made it incredibly cartoony. They put clown shoes on their characters. They added vibrant costumes and bizarre looking weapons, and they took out the blood. Now when you die, there's just a swirl of glitter and bright light. And so what's happening is it's flying under the radar for a lot of parents who don't necessarily see it as violent. And so there's children as young as I've seen first and second grade kids who are online wanting to play Fortnite. Now, one of the things I love about the Culture Translator and about these parent guides is it doesn't give you this binary view to have about everything. It doesn't just tell you, here's this, here's what it is, it's all bad. No, what it does is it breaks down the history, the background, and the features of whatever it is it's talking about, in this case Fortnite, and it lets you know some pros, some cons, and some discussion points to have with your kids, especially if you've got preteens and teens. They need to feel empowered during this time. They need to, especially during this time in their lives, they need to feel like they can be trusted to make decisions for themselves. These are the times to keep communication open by opening up the conversation and asking them how they feel. How do they feel about the skirting around the violence issue and having little kids play this game? How do they feel about the fact that you can be online and talk to just about anybody on the internet through this game? How do they feel about the fact that in place of social media sometimes, teens are using Fortnite as a place to meet and to speak with other people in lieu of what they would be doing with their schooling, and sometimes instead of what they're doing on social media? Because social media, you're posting things, you're adding things to your story, but there's not a lot of live interaction. Fortnite allows for that to happen. So open up these discussions with your teen right now, because Fortnite is going to be something that your kids are going to be more drawn to during times like this, when all of their extracurricular and other school ways of socializing are being taken away from them. I expect right now that Fortnite is becoming a very, very viable place for them to be socializing, and we don't necessarily want to take that away from them, but we do want to engage in conversation about the pros and cons of virtual socializing versus doing things with other people in person, and what it's like to be going through this time. So, in the spirit of talking about Fortnite, I've got an activity that all of Family Ministry can do together this week. We are going to do a Fortnite challenge. I have a lot of friends of mine in ministry who've been doing this with their churches. I really think this is going to be a lot of fun. Here's what the Fortnite challenge is. We're not talking about the video game. We're talking about a night of building forts. As a family, I want you guys to build a fort in your house tomorrow night, Tuesday night. You can start in the bedrooms, you can do something in a finished basement or den, or even the living room. And for those of you guys who've known me for any length of time, you know that when I say that I'm doing this too, you know that I'm going to be doing this too. I'm going to be probably even video chatting with a few friends while I do it. I'm going to be building my fort in my living room. You guys can even build forts in your kids' bedrooms and connect them through the hallways. And then what you're going to do is do an activity, read a book, watch something under the fort together with your kids, maybe even have a snack time or something like that. And if you're feeling ambitious, put up Christmas lights, bring some bedding under there. Let this be kind of like a mini camping trip. Let your kids sleep in the fort for tomorrow night. The weather has been dreary and awful, and this can be kind of a fun indoor camping trip. You know, you can bring up some lanterns and just get creative. Make this a fun night that switches things up a little bit for your kids and gets you to spend some time together as a family. And finish it up by taking a couple pictures of your fort and of you together as a family and post them on our family ministry Facebook page so that we can see your fort and how you did. And then we can share photos of our forts and show you guys what we all did. Let's do this together. Let's make this a family ministry fun night. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, Fort Night Challenge. All right, so that's all I got for you guys today. So I'll be looking for your photos of your fort tomorrow night, and I'll be sharing photos of mine. And I will look forward to talking with you guys on our Wednesday Live at 5 video. Make sure to tune in for children's church stuff that you can pick up on Amazon for Easter. Stay safe. God bless. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.